Davey D hanging out with you right now, and we are walking down Lakeshore Avenue and 14th from the courthouse, and we are talking with the one and only Angela Davis. The first question I want to ask you, because of your history with the Panthers and going all the way back to the Free Huey rallies, is this a familiar scene for you to be down here, and did you think you would be down here so many years later fighting a similar battle?
Well, it is very frustrating to think that 30, 40 years later, we're still struggling against police violence. The same issues are, it's great to see that people respond to these issues, but we have to figure out how to move on. We have to figure out, how not to simply address each individual case of police violence or police executions, but how do we understand the structural violence in the system? And I think that given that Barack Obama will be inaugurated next week, we should think very seriously about what kind of movement we need to really push the country forward. I think Oakland needs to be sending a message to the entire country that we will not put up with this any longer.
Let me ask you, it seems like a lot of this centers around, can you reform the system, or does it need to be torn down in some way and completely rebuilt? Because it seems like since the days of the Panthers, since the days of the Free Huey rallies, we've approached this problem every which way, and it hasn't changed. And I don't know if we fully have engaged all our options, in the reform side, or do we just have to abandon it?
Well, I've been an abolitionist for a long time. As a matter of fact, 35, 40 years ago, when we were struggling for the freedom of political prisoners like, Huey and Bobby and Erica, we were talking about the need to abolish the prison system. We were also talking about the need to abolish the law enforcement system as it existed then, as it exists today. I think the message of abolitionism is one that should ring out today. And I know that here at the rally, Critical Resistance is present. There are a lot of organizations that are calling for abolition and are not attempting to use the reform rhetoric in a way that pushes us to repeat over and over and over again the same problems, the same issues.
Let me ask you, Mayor Dellums is praised all around the world for his leadership in Congress, the positions that he's taken over the years, but has been roundly criticized for his slow response here as mayor. Are you surprised at his response to this when you compare it with, say, what has happened in other cities with their response? Do you think that he and others should have exercised more leadership in terms of what a response should have been to an execution that took place in their city?
Oh, absolutely. I think the entire city government should have responded. I can think of other formations and other individuals that should have spoken out as well. But I think you're absolutely right. We need to put pressure on the city government of Oakland, on the BART agency. But also we need to link it with the structural problems. It's not just in this city. It's not just the BART. It's not just that one BART policeman. It's the whole system. And as long as we focus on the individual consequences, we will be doomed again to endless repetition of the same violence.
Well, we appreciate that. And as we close out, 2 marching orders that you would give as a veteran of this type of struggle, that you would give to people that are watching, especially in our generation, that you would like them to do, or at least think about?
Well, I'd like young people, and I know Hard Knock Radio does a lot of good work in terms of organizing and mobilizing young people. Young people need to take the lead. And I suppose I would also say that that message of hope, that message of hope that we've been hearing for the last months is a message that really needs to be translated into progressive activism, into progressive radical social activism.
Well, there you have it. We've been talking with Angela Davis. As I said earlier, no stranger to walking these streets, being in front of the courthouse, dispensing a lot of wisdom and some things for us to seriously think about. We want to thank you very much, Ms. Davis. Okay, we are out for now.